Welcome back to Football Coach, episode 51. We're at schedule making for the coming year, and it wanted me to have two of those super games. I think we need to be farming victory. So having one is great. It's the equivalent of about $4 million a year towards us, and sure, we got a big payout last year on that, but we made that progress. We got those new levels. I think we're going to have to be cautious about rushing into yet another one when we have three of those 9 or 10 star programs with outstanding contracts, and all three of them are at just one out of the 3 games completed. And in the case of one anyway, Clemson, we're starting to run out of time. Like, we're heading into the 2038 season. It's a contract that must be fulfilled by 2041. And I'm not completely convinced that we have a great team for the coming season that's going to easily get the victories that we need to get without having a couple softer out-of-conference games on the schedule. So instead of working on 2 of them, I'll work on the Clemson one this year, continuing on with that. No big payout, but we still have Rutgers on the calendar, and we'll finish that contract, and then we're going to start a new contract with Iowa State. Now, in the case of Rutgers, they were dead last, but somehow ranked 76th. It was Wake Forest at 3-9 that was somehow ranked 77th, but ranked dead last was Iowa State, also somehow 2-12. So not quite sure how Rutgers managed to pull off the winless season and not dead last in rankings, but there's Temple at 74. We've got plenty of winnable games on our calendar, and really just the one that there is no chance on the road at Clemson. But it is a year where we only have 5 home games, 7 away, and there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of 3-star programs that managed to get 7+ wins this last season on our calendar. Not going to be the easiest to replicate a 5-win season, but the good news is we're in a conference that overall is just weak, and wins could and should come. We should at least get our 3, right? But that'll only conclude one outstanding contract and replace it with a new one. So we will still have 4 outstanding contracts in the year to come. But at least Clemson will be at 2 of 3 finally, and so we can turn around and get that closed fairly soon. Most important day of the season is the off-season gains. Our offensive linemen, who we now have the promise of wins this year for, the guy who we gave the NIL money to the year prior to stick around, only gets a +2. But, he is an 89 after all, and he's only a junior. He's got that chance to stick around, but it's going to be really hard, especially when he upped the requirement. Now we're up to 8 games to win. That is an insane number for a program that still has never won more than 5. But right behind him, we've got +7s, +9s. It's looking good at the high end here of Chaney. Okay, Chaney, I see you, bud. I see you from that C+ potential, that huge drop off that he had. It's back up to a B- and a +7. He's an 88 this year. Our top 2 guys are juniors. And a sophomore. A wide receiver sophomore right there, 5th on the list. Already a drop to 84. So, okay, well, here was the thing about the development gains this year for off-season. Remember, we just upgraded our training facilities. We've added a couple % to that boost. A couple % can go a long way. Let's find out just how far it took us. Starting in the gains column, it is a +9 that we just saw at the top of the screen is the number one. A D lineman going into that senior year with massive progression from a 78 to an 87. That already puts our D line into the best condition it's been in the last 2 to 3 years. A redshirt freshman offensive lineman, going from a 67 as a true freshman to a 75. We've got a freshman with A plus potential on the O line. That's a 75 already as a freshman. Oh, he will be in the mix for sure. He will get plenty of snaps this season as a redshirt freshman. Oh, I'm excited about that one, especially with that A plus potential. What's his durability like? It's down to a C plus already. Like, I don't even take guys that are below a B. Rarely, anyway. But anyway, 3+7s, and this normally I only have about 3+6s. Normally, there's 7+6s this year. I think there's a lot of guys that would have been a +5, but that extra couple percent, 3 or 4 of them got a whole extra point out of it. And that put 2 guys into 80s, 2 guys into high 70s, and 3 of them making decent progression. The only kind of downside is you got a redshirt junior D lineman who's only a 71. Come on. That's a position we've been really struggling at, though. At least it's good gains. Lots of +5s. Lots of +5s. Normally we have a good amount of +5s, but not that many. It's where you get to the +4s where you have a lot of guys, and there's less than there normally is in the +3s. I think it really replaced the +2s. I think we are seeing the benefit of that trading facility already, because the bare minimum seems to be some +2s and 4 +1s. No zeros. We've had that in prior years, but come on. Dylan Leong, +7 in weight. You've got an A- potential, now an A+ potential, and he's already gone from a C- durability down to a D+. Like, what's even happened? You've never played a snap, and at this rate never will, because you're gonna get cut, because he's gone from he was probably a 56 when we signed him. Now he's a 59 after 2 off-season. He's got A+ potential. Like, what in the world's going on with this guy? Is he going to jump by 40 points next year? First week of spring training has gone perfect. Perfect. We invested some points into training, and the results are immediate. 6 for 6. And in the case of 5 of them, we're talking about 6 or more points gained. Huge across the board, including our arguably top wide receiver. We've got 2 guys at an 84. In fact, I think I have about 6 guys that are like an 81 plus. We are very deep with a lot of quality. 84 is the highest, but across the board, so much depth in the wide receiving and or tight end or running back core, where a lot of guys are in that lower mid 80 range. We've got plenty of skill this season on offense. We've got a quarterback too who's in the low 80s, so if we can give them some protection on the offensive line. I haven't looked closely at our line yet, and then there's that defensive side of the ball where we are going to suffer in a couple ways. One, we were really down last year, so it's not just automatic that we're going to magically be back up this year and have that massive of a breakthrough or anything. And 2, the play calling. Remember, we ended up not being able to match up the new head coach with the defensive coordinator, like at all. We didn't get a 7 on the play calling, and their schemes didn't match up. Our play calling's a 6 on D, so we're going to take a big penalty on the plays, the effectiveness of the plays that we call. If the players are also struggling, we might be every game's a shootout and hope we can outscore the opponent. 12 for 12. Perfect so far. Halfway through trainings. We've already matched our worst. We should easily surpass in the next week all but maybe 1 or 2 of the seasons we've ever had. So training has gone extremely well. Big gains. But I'm starting to look at that defense and be a little concerned about where we're at. Linebacker Jalen Mai, that's our best linebacker. now a 77 overall. There's two guys out of 76 that he just overtook a couple upperclassmen. First week of recruiting, and of course most of that's the ones we have a head start on, right, where we already have the 25% scouting, so you get a lot of results quickly. 37 out of the 40 guys we were able to get beyond that 30%, down to 15 already, which is not bad compared to most years. There tends to be maybe 7 keepers in the first week, so 15's nice. However, 12 of those 15, or no, there's only 12 left. Oh, right. 3 are the ones that I didn't. The 38, 39, 40, the guys I didn't get. So, not as good. Okay, so 12 keepers, but only 3 of them are a B or better, and only 2 B pluses. Not a single A turned up in that first search. And one of our B pluses is already way down as a 56 offensive lineman, which is kind of the bare minimum that I'm ever going for. And the other's a junior college transfer who's a running back, but also only a 68. He's only about a +5 from a high schooler that I would normally sign, and a couple years older, meaning neither one of them is got much quality right now. The best guy we're looking at is a 68B wide receiver, which is maybe a point or two better than the average that I pull for wide receivers. It's not a great start to our recruiting class for the year. And then on top of it, with the retirement of our head coach, we're back down to just 10 scouts weekly from 14. So we're losing out on a lot of scouting. And we took away a lot of the recruiting capability of the coaching staff. And where we barely won some battles, I don't think we're going to be winning very many. So if we don't find guys in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to very quickly move on to the scraps, the leftovers, the unrecruited guys as our primary focus, much earlier in the season than when I've been of late turning to that point. So that we can actually get a thorough look at these guys and know that we're just not going to be able to win very many battles, and it's going to take a very, very early targeting of them and get ahead early on. Otherwise, we're not going to stand a chance. And from this first group, it's looking more likely that we're only going to be going for scraps this season. The gains certainly weren't as impressive this week, and it was only 4 out of the 6. But with that, we're already at 16, and I think we're now like equaling our 3rd or 4th best season, and we've still got a whole another session to go. 6 more trainings to hand out. All we need is, I think, like 2 or 3 of 2. I think will match our best ever. 3 will exceed. So great year for training. A little disappointed on the results with a lot of +3s and a couple of +5s this week, but the +5 punt power. So remember, we let the kicker go. Didn't want to overpromise too much. He was another guy who wanted those 8 wins, and I just don't see those 8 wins happening. So we're going to lose one guy to that. We're going to lose a lot of coach integrity to that, but to double down on that was just too much. It was too much. Recruiting gets really hard if you use up all that coach integrity. But I guess if we're going to go for nothing but scraps anyway in the short term, maybe we should just burn through all that coach integrity to make promises that can't be kept. It did end up being our worst week with only 3 progressions, but at 19 out of the 24, I believe this was our best ever season for gains. I think we had 18 once. I think we had 17 a couple of times. A 19 is the new record, I believe. A +5 to kick power for our true freshman kicker, who's almost as good as the one ahead of him, but he will redshirt this season as long as there's no injury to the main kicker. Hanging on to him could be a problem, though, long term, unless I split duties with them. But we've got a tackling +6 for a redshirt freshman safety, who's now a 70 overall. And, this whole group is on that edge of being good enough to get snaps and pretty young. So not a bad group here. Just a little disappointed that we had some really high percentages for all six, and yet only got three of them this time. We're a two-star program. Win 6 games or win the division? What the hell is our athletic director smoking? Yeah, fine. We are a two-star program now. That still puts us near the bottom. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Well, we get a chance at $3 million from a booster this year, but we need 90 plus total pancakes from the whole offensive line. That's a big number. I love our easy 750K target, though, of hold at least one opponent to 265 passing yards or fewer. That actually feels achievable by the second or third week. We are making progress as we go into our season here. The 81 that we have is not only identical in number to last season, but it's identical in positional ranking. We were 49th last year. We're 49th this year. Defensively, we started the year at a 78. Injuries very quickly brought us down to a 77. We spent almost the entire year at a 77. This year, we're comfortably a 79 and up quite a few spots from last season. Not quite 10, at 59th in those rankings. So only, 10 spots below where we are on the offensive talent side. Offensively, quarterback play is an 81, rushing skill an 81, run blocking a little off this year at a 79, but receiver skills a solid 84, and pass protection is definitely decent at 80. Defense, 80s across the board, but all low 80s. 81 on the rush, run stopping is 80, man coverage 82, zone 84, that's our bread and butter, and tackling 82. And special teams, 84 on the field goal kicking, even as we got a lot younger there. And punting, it's a little off, but it's still an 80. And kick and punt return, a very solid 92 this year. 25 3-stars, 56 2-star guys in the program, down at 2.31 on those average star ratings. We've got talent on both sides of the ball here, but it's wide receivers, tight ends. There you go, 84, 84, 84, 83. There's the depth part I'm talking about. There's so many targets. If we've got a quarterback who can find them, the nice thing that our opposition, most of the teams we face this season, what they won't have, they'll have the one or two guys that can hang with our best wide receivers. What they won't have is the depth to stop the third, fourth, fifth guy. So spreading the field, that spread offense and passing. If we've got a quarterback who's got enough vision, enough know-how, he's going to find an open receiver often. And it's going to be that third or fourth option, because the other teams will only have one or two guys who can cover our one or two guys. And then we'll have a pretty healthy advantage over their second tier guys. That could really, really help us. Cheney, solid. Dickerson, massive growth for him. And we've got a little bit of skill, at a lot of different positions, but it drops off. It really drops off on the defensive side. It's only that handful of guys. But what we have for starters by class, half are seniors, and then a quarter are juniors, 20% for the sophomores. Good to see. We're seeing a lot of growth there. We are rebounding 6 starters, our sophomores. Player by class, of course, you always have more freshmen, but 18 seniors this year, just 15 juniors, 19 sophomores, and then 29 freshmen, roughly split half and half, about 15 each. So our 2 bigger classes right now are the seniors and the sophomores. All right, that annual look at where we're at on the depth. It's an 81 for our senior quarterback, but I'm very, very happy that our new number 2 is a redshirt sophomore, Pearson, who's a 76. So you expect that he'll have a +3 or better going into next year, and we will be able to promise him the starting job. So he's not going to leave us. we'll have a 79 or 80 for our starting quarterback next year, with another year to go where he'll be better than Pierce, who's only an 81 as a senior. Not great, not great, but we'll be able to keep rolling. Next year with a good first year starting quarterback. As for the running back position, Douglas is solid at an 82. It's not Norman in 89, and it's not going to be third team All American. That's going to hurt to keep up with. But it's all those other positions where we've gotten better at this year that's keeping the offense identical to where it was, even though we've lost a 90 overall offensive lineman and an 89 running back. We've got an 82. That's solid. That'll perform at our level. And Thorpe at a 79 behind him is good. I worry about the next group. Oliver is only a 69. He should be in the low 70s, you would hope. We're going to need a big breakthrough from Barnett or Tate or Littlejohn or Oliver. Like one of those four guys will need to have a pretty big breakthrough going into next year. Otherwise, the year after will be a problem for us. But here's that wide receiver depth that I'm talking about. It's been a while since we've had this, right? The last, 2 years now have been kind of rough. This is going to be good. This is a good, solid year for us. Tight end, though, could be a problem. Rollins, he'll graduate. Somebody's going to step up. We're going to be hurting at tight end. Paris seems the obvious one, but he did not develop very well this year, and only a 70 overall. The O-line. The graduating group, we're not going to miss them too much. They're okay. They are okay. But it's Hall, who we're going to lose if we don't win 8 games. And then, holy crap, we're going to be in trouble because Crockett is the only other guy that you're looking at going, oh yeah, he's starter quality. In fact, he's 5th on the depth chart now. He's already going to be a starter as a redshirt freshman. He's the last of those, but yikes for next year. Big yikes for next year. We're okay this year, but yeah, the O-line, a little bit of a problem. Kicker, we're fine for years to come if Christian doesn't leave us. And D-line, Dickerson, great breakthrough, and we'll have more depth next year. And if you get a similar jump, we'll have multiple guys. We'll be deeper, a lot deeper next year, and Whitaker should continue to improve. We've got good down the road with Nance. Linebacker, definitely looking better than it's been the last few years. We've been like this, but only one senior. Our best guy now is a redshirt sophomore, and the other redshirt sophomores are pretty decent. So linebackers finally going to rebound next year. This year is just another year of what we had, and really kind of better. I mean, what last year was a couple 73s. And a 72, I think, were our top linebackers. Now it's a couple 76s and a 77. And some 72s. So they're finally starting to bounce back. And corner, fairly good, but not quite the depth that we've had in some previous years. Same with safety. And the problem there with safety is, these are the guys that are going to graduate. These guys should be about an 80 next year, and we definitely have some, Peterson's looking good for the future, and Rogers is looking good for the future, but yeah, safety and corner down a hair, but not really. They're still there. Like I said, the defense has rebounded a little bit this year. It's a little stronger. Definitely linebacker is a bit stronger than the last couple of years, and we'll be okay. There are some worrying signs about the future. In particular, the O-line is a worry for the future. But for this year, they should be fine. One thing I'm really liking about the progression long-term of this series is that I'm not in the stages where I was in the early years, where constantly I had true freshmen that were better than the players around them, and found in myself, very carefully navigating whether or not when to play them, how much to play them, and trying to secure those red shirts. And over a lot of seasons, I only made 3 mistakes with that, but it was still really difficult to navigate. Now we're at such a point where it's almost all high schoolers. It's very rare that I take any junior college guys in, and the transfers that I take are almost always freshmen. And most of those have already redshirted. And so we find ourselves in this scenario where I'm not having to manipulate the depth chart anywhere near as much as I used to. And when it comes to promises, the promises are promises that can be kept. The guys that are asking for the play time are moving up the depth chart as guys graduate, and so they get the play time that they were looking for. And so it's really easy to do. This year I have one exception to that, and that's because I actually took a junior college guy for the first time in a while. He was an offensive lineman. He is a 69 rated offensive lineman as a true junior. You can see the bottom of the depth chart for offensive line is somebody who's a 67. So I will have to navigate one player at offensive line this season unless I take a bunch of injuries early, especially long-term and major ones, where I'll need him, and never mind the red shirt. For now, we'll try to preserve that because he would be last on the depth chart anyway, so one guy below him, a couple points, no, it's worth it. Hang on to that red shirt for that one. But of course we have Ohio State first, so he'll sit that one out for sure. But looking at the bottom ends, we've got 4 guys in the high 60s. It's not ideal, but really we are in a better state than we've been. I mean, we've got lots and lots of mid or upper 80s for starters. We have lots of depth, especially wide receiver. I mean, that's crazy. 4 guys that are an 83 or 84 at wide receiver, and a tight end who's an 84, and a running back who's an 82. The O-line, only the 189, and then drop off to 79. But at least, by our 5th starter, we're at 76 still. So we're better at our 5th starter than we are in many years, but we're weaker at number 2 and or number 3. And like I said, O-line is the big concern down the road. I trust our offense. They put up 13 points. That means they had 3 scoring drives, theoretically. I mean, assuming that it was 2 field goals and a touchdown, and not a missed extra point. That's a decent day against the number 2 team in the nation. 48 points is not great, but against the number 2 team in the nation, it could have been a whole lot worse than that, especially on the road. So I think that's an okay start for us. Wisconsin had 10 turnovers in their opening game. 9 interceptions from Chase Garrett, who's an 80 overall redshirt senior who went 18 for 39 with 2 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and 7 sacks. Holy crap, it was LSU. It was a record both sides of the ball, obviously, as you would expect, but dang, Ohio State setting a record for the best offense ever put on the field in this playthrough. Home game, Temple. They're 1-point favorites. We are very similar. They're about half a point better average than we are. Offense and defense are very, very closely matched with them, even across the board, where their offense to our defense, actually, we do have a little bit of an advantage in the passing game and pass protection. Maybe, just maybe. They are a very run-heavy team, and we're set to try to stop the run. We've had difficulty with the run in recent years, but we've got that one strong defensive lineman this year. Maybe can hold them up a little bit. We've also switched to a more aggressive zone instead of a conservative zone, so maybe sticking numbers in the box and getting after the quarterback could help us in that department. They did win their first game of the season, but they also didn't play Clemson. Their quarterback is a 78 overall redshirt junior. They do have a 90 overall running back who could be a handful for us. And they've got a corner who's an 86. But as I mentioned before, one good corner, we've got so much depth there that he's going to just shut down our number 1 guy. I don't expect to get a ton of production out of our number 1 guy. I really expect further down the depth chart to be the ones to really carry the load. Pierce, rough first game. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. He's got a lot to come back from. Only 14 incompletions. He was okay otherwise. Ooh, and they're already missing a 79 overall linebacker who's better than anybody I have at the position for myself. That's going to see him out. It is raining, and it looks like it's heavy rain. Holy crap. Okay. Heavy rain, heavy winds. That's going to impact play calling. 13-yard run on their first play. How many times are we going to be able to stop them? Well, sacking the quarterback is going to be a good way to do it. And I am with the first sack, as far as I know, of the season, certainly of the game. Not a 3 and out, but four and out. Well, we got a decent return on the punt as well to give us a run play option to start. Not the kind of play I would go with, but it's worked. Douglas takes the run option and sets up quick slants at midfield. Corner strike. That's a sack. Deep shot. And we punt. So we pull the same stunt that they did. Gap press. Another gap press. They went for the run. It went nowhere. Incomplete pass, even though we attacked the box. It was deflected by the safety. Good job. Cover 3 cloud. That's a big gain. 26-yard pass. 2nd and 5. 3rd and 3. We're going to engage 8. I like the more aggressive. Boy, it looked like they only gained 2, but that is 3. My eyes deceived me. Just enough for the first down. Oh, ow, 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 ow. 34-yard pass. And we're in a little bit of trouble here. 2nd and 10. Can we hold them for a field goal attempt with heavy, heavy winds? Come on, come on. 4th and 5. It's only a 28-yarder. It's a chip shot from here, but fingers crossed it could be a miss. It is a make, though. 3-0. It's a good stop, though. Bend, don't break. Tight end stick. First down. All hitches. Going short. Yards after the catch. Again, that's a slot receiver, so that's definitely not your top guy. Top guy is on those outside receivers. And yeah, you jump into the slot, and Chang, who's dropped, actually, he was our 3rd best receiver last year. Now he's our 4th best receiver this year, even though there were graduates in the class. But he's one of those 83s where we have 284s and 283s, and you know, it means that everybody's a good option, and we're finding those extra options. Halfback stretch, nothing. Slot drive, run play option. Okay, 1 yard. We're not quite in field goal range just yet, but that gets us into field goal range. Halfback mid draw, corner strike, sets up a 3rd and 2. Halfback mid draw. Yikes. If we gain 1, do we go for it on 4th? I think we're good enough to do so, but we get 3 yards for the first down. Bubble screen. Yes. I have the receivers. I have the receivers to make things happen, and it sets up 2nd and goal for the halfback dive, and we put it in the end zone. We're up 7-3 on Temple. Negative run. 10-yard pass. Sets up a 3rd and very short. We're going to send 5. It's a hard stop from there when you got a 90 running back. 6-yard run there. Sets up a 2nd and 4. They're past midfield. 3rd down. Now it's a little bit better of a shot here to go. 4 yards. Here he goes again. 2nd and 2. If this guy keeps carrying the load, they're heavy run. And what's the drop off after him? Oh, it's a major drop off. He's getting about half the snaps right now. Sykes, Mr. 90 overall. But McPherson, definitely not the same guy. Big drop off to number 2. But first down here. 2nd and 1. That was a jet sweep. 3rd and 2. Going backwards. It's Sykes. Going backwards. Sykes is the main guy, right? So Sykes lost yardage, but Stokes steps in and gets just enough for a first down. Can we bend, not break? 2nd and 10. 9 yards. Stokes, like, why is he the one getting it? 3rd and 1. Come on, please get a stop here. Please get a stop. Nope, first and goal. They're going to score, and they do. 10-7. Bubble screen gains 10. 5 yards from Douglas, and another first down on the sweep. That's not a sweep. Sweep's what we want to run now. That's Shang again. That third passing option is going to be brilliant for us most of this season against these teams that lack depth, that might have that 1 or 2 quality starters, but just do not have the 5 quality starters like we do. Negative run there sets up a 3rd and long. But the play action gets us the first down, and we are moving right down the field for a potential another score. 2nd and goal, going backwards there, though. And going backwards. Levels gives us a lot of options, and we settle for a field goal that we make to tie 10-all. They're moving the ball way too easily right now. Gap press, though. Big negative. We get the sack. It's Anaya again. Anaya making a great stop there. Sets up a 3rd and 10. But they get the first down anyway, and they're going to score again. Now we have to answer with 1 minute left in the quarter. Up tempo, definitely, and we're going to have to put it in the air. So medium pass. Okay, we've got a slight negative on medium. What about deep? Deep does not have any negatives. So shallow cross. Nothing. Curl flats to get the first. Yes. How we look at 47 seconds, first down. We are not rushing here. Medium pass, no, still a problem. Deep is not. Slot outs. Good chance to stop the clock, and does step out of bounds to stop the clock. Just what we were looking for. Midfield, plenty of time. Middle slant. Those medium passes are available to us. Once again, we used a timeout there. We have 1 more remaining, 37 seconds. Definitely could get inside the 1-score range if we can get the field goal, but it's going to be a difficult one, so we definitely want to try to play through. Between the heavy rain and the heavy wind, it's got to be chip shot kind of territory, and it's very much not there right now. We're talking 57 yards from this point. Not anymore. Tight end. We've got a quality tight end. So many options, and it's really working out well for us right now. 31 seconds left. That was our last timeout, though. We definitely want to go to the air. I don't need 4 verticals. This is not that kind of territory here. But the medium pass is gone heavy again after a couple plays, but so has the deep. So any option is going to play out the same for that. So let's just pick our poison. Smash digs. More receivers is a good thing right now. That's all across the middle, though. Having some outside options is definitely a good. So like the slot outs like we did before. Levels definitely gets you a good chance, but then clock could be an issue. We've got enough time to still have a hurry up, though. Strong flood. I like strong flood. All one direction, and more than half of them have a chance for an easy out of bounds. And if they cover that well, then you got 2 guys that can then catch and, see what we can get. At least a first down. And plenty of time. Not plenty of time, but enough time. Enough time. 6 yards. Did get out of bounds, though. Did get out of bounds. That's key. 2nd and 4. That's a medium. What about a short? What about a short in this situation? Slants middle. Let's go quick slants. You can get another quick out of bounds out of that, and hopefully stop the clock and maybe get that first down and get into that medium, then put you into the end zone, or even maybe a short. No, incomplete. They chose the middle pass anyway. Okay, drive. Definitely in the end zone, possibly end zone, not end zone. 23 seconds. Iffy. It's iffy. Let's take it, though. 34-yard field goal. 19 seconds left. Let's take the field goal that we make. Okay. I was nervous about that with the weather conditions. 17-13. Nice comeback there, but they've had these two big drives. Very big. 3 drives. We just stopped them once. So I'm a little worried about our defense right now. But they kick off for the second half, and we're going to be ending with a halfback off tackle, inside cross, halfback mid draw. Got enough for the first. Bubble screen. Huge play. 42-yard run by Brandon Thorpe. Beautiful. Quick slants. Slot outs. Slants. First down. Okay. Inside zone. Stick. Lots of options there, and it works out in our favor. It's a touchdown. It's a lead. 2017. But we need the defense to step up and get one stop for us. 48-yard touchdown pass on a short pass. But we engaged so many guys on that gap press that it did. All he had to do was beat one man. Well, really two. 24-20. Right back to levels. It works. Bubble screen. 2nd and 1. Nice gain. Halfback sweep. Decent first down. Inside zone. Going inside again. That's enough for a first down. And back to levels again. No. Let's not continually call the same damn play over and over and over again. Play action power read. No. Halfback slam. No. 4 verticals. We're going to have to punt. It's a turnover. It's even worse. And it was a completed pass. Zhang fumbles it, though. It's very wet, but at least it's only at the 20. But it's putting us in a tricky spot because we trail and we have not been able to shut them down. We've been having to go toe-to-toe. At least we're forcing them to go 80 yards, but that has not been much of a problem for them today. But Sykes loses 3 yards on that one. The other thing I noticed was it got a little tougher when he got tired. A bit tired now. He is definitely a bit tired. The other guys have not been playing so far this half. Sykes runs for 8 that time. 3rd and 5. Engage 8. Gets the stop. The 3 and out. We're going to get the ball back in decent field position. And get a good gain on first. Curl combo. No. Halfback mid draw. Yes. Fixed screen wheel. I like this one. No big gain this time. We go for the short one on the short screen. A little comeback. It's not even a screen. Both of those guys are taken off. It's a kind of a screen just because you have one taken off immediately and the other one comes across, which gives him a little bit of space to come underneath. But there's no actual screen unless the catch is made right here and then he's turning up to try to get a block on the guy. But it's completion. Halfback mid draw. Nice one. 18 yards from Thorpe. Bubble screen. And 2nd and 6. Inside zone. No. I'm not a fan of that at the moment. I have a feeling that that's not going to do much for us. But a play action comeback is what I'm looking for here. But it's probably going to be incomplete. No, it's not. Okay, 14 yards. Zhang stepping back up after his mistake earlier. First down in the red zone. And it's a touchdown. We're back in the lead. Oh, that 3 and out was huge. Man, if we didn't have that fumble, though, it could be 34-24. And we'd be looking real good. It would be a little bit further in time, too. We'd be entering the 4th quarter by this stage. We've still got just over a quarter to play and barely lead by 3. It's going to take more than one stop to win this game, though. There's a stop. There's a stop. First down. And it's an interception at midfield as they tried to go deep on us. The interception is by our top linebacker, Jalen Mai. He's 77 overall? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The linebacker having to cover somebody, and clearly that's an under thing. It was probably underthrown a bit, maybe a little wet. Ball slipped on release. I could see that being the case. Good field position. Important drive if we're going to win the game. Got to turn it into points. Wide corner, no. Levels. This time no penalty, though. And it's enough for the first. You want to go right back to it? No, I do not want to go right back to it. Let's take that slants middle. Nice and easy. First down. I love how many passing options we have. I think that I'm going to have to coach a lot of these games, and I'm going to have to go to the passing plays that have lots of receivers out there. That is our path. Our offensive line today is doing the job. They are doing the job to give us enough time for the quarterback to find the open man, and he is finding the open man a lot.
And we've got enough of a rush game to make that a threat too, so that they can't leave the box wide open and just if it 3rd and 4. No inside zone. Medium pass. Let's go with a medium. I like the tight end attack, right? You got 3 guys for the first down. No, that's double tight ends. No, I do not like that one. 2 deep, 3 short. There you go. Let's try that. First down. 12 yards. First and goal. Bubble screen is enough for the score. We lead by 10. Whew. Okay. Now, a stop here. A stop here could mean game in our favor. Or a bend don't break definitely gives us a big chance. If they score fast, though, like any momentum we've gained is right out the window. And in 3 plays, they've got it down to the 35. But on the 4th play, we force a turnover. Aiden McPherson, not Sykes, has fumbled the ball. Our D-line man, Whitaker, has forced it, and Whitaker has picked it up. Not only did he pick it up, but he took it 8 yards with him before getting tackled. 41-yard line, good field position. We are now going to, not up-tempo, chew clock. We're up 2 scores with 11.5 left. We are going to chew clock from here. Though I am still open to passing. Passing has been the way forward, and will probably continue to do that. We gave it right back. We took a minute off the clock, but Cameron Hope has fumbled the ball. Where is Cameron Hope on the depth chart for us? 76 overall. He's been in for 30 snaps. None of the others have even played. Down the depth chart there. Yep, our least played guy. 76 is okay, but he's not the other guys, right? Well, they've got good field position. Right about where they were. So just a little bit of clock chewed is about all we managed from that first down. Going backwards, McPherson loses 3, 2nd and long. But Stokes gets 10 yards there, setting up a 3rd and short. Ooh, do we think they're going to stay on the ground or go in the air? This suggests they would go to the air. And to the middle. Shallow and middle. And I actually kind of agree that is likely. But if they run, they're going to get the 3 yards. And they run and they get 16. Gauge 8. Touchdown. Leads down to 3. And there's a lot of time. Inside zone. White corner. Backwards. Shallow cross. It's a 3 and out. We did chew some clock, but holy crap, that was awful. And so in real life, you change tempo like that and you slow things down, especially when you're a more up-tempo kind of side. That's what happens. You 3 and out. That's just how it goes. I hate chew clock. Hate it. That's what happens. Is that just what happened because their defense stepped up? Or is that what happened because we changed tempo? I feel like it's probably the later. Being aggressive is not panning out very well against these guys. They seem to get their biggest gains when we do attack in 2nd and 4. Turnover! Interception! Oh, safety Luke Stone goes down as he makes the interception or is tackled as soon as he makes it, but we've got the ball back. Under 6 minutes left. Fake screen wheel. I like the throw option here. Jet sweep. Could be a big gain. It gets us 5. Sets up at least a shorter play. That's a medium pass. Okay, looks more like a short pass to me. But it's a first down. 5 minutes left on the clock. We don't need a slot corner here. This time, let's go to the ground. We need those wide receivers to throw it off. Inside zone. Okay, we gain 5. Slot post angle. How about we go short instead? The quick slants. Middle. Nothing. Drive. It's a good option to gain the yards we need. 3:37 left on the clock. And yes, this is definitely punt territory. It's 4th and 5. Oh, what a punt! What a punt! It bounces all the way down to the 1-yard line. Great job from the punt team there. Change play. Change play. We are going to run a blitz, and we are going to overstorm Brave. This could be a safety and get the ball back in our hands. One play. Just don't turn it into long. We got 5 guys to stop anything long. 11 yards. Corner blitz. 2:48 left. Obviously, we need a stop. They just used their first timeout. 2:15 left. 2nd and 7. Another wall stunt. 3rd and 9. McPherson losing 2 yards there. Where are we at? Who's on the field? It is McPherson. Okay. We can count on them going to the air. They do have their top 3 receivers out there, though. Wow. Does anybody else play? No. Just these guys. Just these guys, and somehow they're not even tired? What in the world? How the heck are they doing that? No top offensive linemen, but they've got a similar front 5 if you count the balance, right? Our number 1's much better, but their number 2 is better. Their number 3 is a little better. Like, they take most of the snaps too. Speaking of, how's our defense looking? Okay, it's starters out there, but we probably got some fatigue. But we've got to make sure right now, with 2 minutes left, that we are playing the starters. Both sides of the ball. Close game. Got to see it out. Dime blitz. Okay. Oh, come on. 9 yards? Didn't he need... He needed 9. He needed 9. Gain 3, lost 2. Gain 9. I thought we stopped him. Should have been a yard short. Wasn't. Under 2 minutes left. 2nd and 12. Buzz press. Oh, big gain there. 22 yards. Slant weak. Going aggressive. 2nd and 10. Again with the slant weak. They are in the pistol. It's McPherson. Okay, it's McPherson. So, yes. 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10. They are in 4-down territory, folks. There's just a minute left. Corner 3 blitz. So we still need 2 stops, not just 1. Deflected. Luke Stone with the deflection. It's 4th down. 4th and 10. Cover 3 buzz drop. 5 guys in the box. You know they're going to pass. Okay. It's intercepted by Luke Stone. Now, the tricky thing here, Luke Stone, it's kind of a bad play. It's kind of a bad play from Luke Stone because, right, we would have had the ball up here, not here. It was 4th down. It's our ball. All he has to do is tap it down. But he stat pads and gets the interception, and it's a kneel anyway. We win the game. First win of the season. 34-31. Squeezed out the victory against Temple. They outgained us just ever so slightly. Very, very close game on that one. Stopping that running back was hard. We stopped the other guys quite well, but they got 242 yards on the ground. 256 in the air. I think that's already... I think 260 was what we needed. So I believe that is our booster bonus objective complete. And no injuries after 2 weeks. That's one of the biggest parts about all of this. It was 265, so that is $750K in booster money. 10 pancakes through 2 games, including Clemson. So we need 80 more in 10 more games, so 8 per game, which is a lot. 8 per game is not the rate we're on right now. However, I think that's still very possible in the games to come. And current ranking at 1-1 has us 64th here in the early stages of this season. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.